What are you guys working on? What questions do you have? What conversations did you have this last week that you need some help with?
So I've got one. I've been really trying to like hammer down my MLS pitch for like novations and stuff, and I'm just wanting to focus on really like setting the expectation,
Yeah,
for these sellers. That way, after I pitch it to them, it's like smooth sailing from then on.
I love that, man. I'm so glad you brought that up. We're going to listen to a call. We're going to listen to a call recording that's going to be of yours truly. All right. So
They're just going to be buying it cash still within the 30 days and renting it back.
let me give you some backstory. This guy's going through a divorce. I don't know, run to the restroom during this call, by the way. I need to pee like a racehorse. But this guy is going through a divorce. And the first agreement that I had with him was I was like, hey, dude, he's like, is there any way that you guys can buy it and I'll buy it back from you? I was like, yeah, I need to make 30,000, but yeah, like as long as that's the case, then I'm good with it. I didn't say it exactly like that, but I basically pitched him an agreement where we make $30,000, he buys it back. Didn't end up working out, so I was getting him qualified with my lender, but he didn't qualify. So this is the next call after where I'm going to go over the MLS pitch, and we're going to talk about this for a second. But if you guys hear anything about buying it back, that's why.
It's going to be lower to where we could even make you any money there. And I don't even know if it would pay off the full 139. So I'll have to go back and look. We do have another program, and honestly, the biggest reason I didn't bring it up is, one, I thought you were going to buy it back, but two, I wasn't even sure if you would like it.
So let's pause for a second. I went straight to an MLS pitch here because he was underwater on it with our cash price. So I was like, hey, I don't even think that we'd be able to pay off your mortgage. And I know from talking to this guy, he doesn't have any money in his pocket, like nothing. So I was like, all right, that's not going to be possible. So this is the MLS pitch. The first, it starts off with one, I wasn't sure if your property would qualify, but two, I wasn't even sure if you'd like it. So I want them to start. Oh, well, what is it? Right? It's a program that we haven't discussed yet. I want them to ask me, well, what's the program? Right? And you can hear them do that.
Okay. What program is that?
So typically, like there's three components of a sale. We've got the money, we've got time, and we've got convenience. Now our cash program, that's kind of taken, time and convenience all the way. Not really as high of a price, right? It sounds like, you're not really flexible on the price, like at all. Is that right?
Well, what do you mean?
So, I mean, we're talking, we were at 565 cash. I think before we went and upped it because we knew you were buying it back. We were at 565 cash prior. I mean, how flexible are you on that number?
Well, I mean, 585 was with me buying it back. Well, originally 565 was with me buying it back, and then 585. I want to be as close to 565 as possible. I mean, as close to 585 as possible, but
yeah. Because let me see what I can do. How flexible are you with the time? Like instead of the 30 days that we spoke about, I mean, if we close in 60 days, would you be completely opposed to that if it allowed you to get more money?
Me, no.
All right, so I'm going to pause for a second. So the first thing that I want to do when I'm going over the MLS pitch, right? If I throw a bunch of shit at them all at the same time, it's a no. So notice I'm going the hardest one to overcome first, and then I'm going down the line, right? So I'm going price, and I'm checking them on price. So it's like, hey, how flexible are you on the price? And they're like, all right, what I first say is, hey, you're not flexible on that price at all. Am I hearing you right there? And they're going to say one of two things. They're going to say, well, I mean, I'm a little flexible. Like I could probably go down like $10,000, but nothing more than that, right? Or they're going to say, no. Like 565 was the lowest I'd be willing to take. I need to get at least that, right? This guy told me, I'm hoping to get at least as close to 565 as possible, right? And I'm just going over now. I'm going over the pre-call right before I give the offer. But this is the first step, is getting them on price. Now I go on time. And so let's say the time. I mean, are you flexible there? Like, let's say I'm able to close in 60 instead of 30. Would you be completely opposed to that if it allowed you to get more money for the property? Right? Would you be completely opposed if it allowed you to get more money for the property? Right? So I'm going to ask them. I love that the way I ask, completely opposed, right? I don't say, are you against? Are you completely opposed? Right?
But if that's something like, if the escrow company, if they can just contact the lawyer and say, hey, this is the timeline, this is what we're looking at, rather than, hey, we've run into a couple of issues, because we tell her lawyer that we've run into a couple of issues, then she's going to automatically think that, well, he's trying to not sell the house or whatever it is that they think. So, there just has to be a timeline. And I think that I'm not sure if you talked to her lawyer or if it was, I believe his name was Isaac.
Matt, probably.
Or Matt.
I'm pretty close with Matt. I can have, I just texted him earlier today, making sure, because right now the lawyer does not know that you ever were even attempting to buy it back. That was obviously discussed between Matt and I. This might work. I mean, typically when we buy it with our team, we only have us, right? Like a few through, and obviously we facilitate the whole thing. However, I mean, honestly, most money, we really need to get a few more of our retail buyers in there. Obviously, once we've qualified them. I mean, let's say we can get you closer to that number that you were looking for. I mean, would you be flexible? Or I guess the big question is, would the tenants be flexible with us with the access?
Oh yeah, we just call up there and let them know. As long as it's 24 hours in advance, then it's not going to be an issue. But I already know that, you'll probably let me know well in advance, and then I'll let them know and then just shoot them a reminder. So,
more like hard dates. So we have another program.
Okay, so now I'm getting access, right? So I need to ask him, are the tenants flexible with us getting out there, right? Or if he's living in the property, if it's vacant, I can ask, but they're probably going to be okay with it as well, right? So that's the next step. Oh, gotcha. I was just reading your notes, Mike. Any questions on any of that so far?
That's usually where I run into like the hiccup with is the access to the property. Like, a lot of times they'll ask, access, like how much access are we talking? What do you mean,
Four showings, four total times, 2 hours apiece. I like 2 weeks in a row, one weekday, 1 weekend, and then the next week, 1 weekday, 1 weekend. Okay,
so just like hard set a specific number, like it's going to be this many times for this long.
Yeah, like if it's a vacant property and it's the door's wide open, then it doesn't really matter. But if someone's living there, we don't personally just do like the, hey, request a showing and go see it. That's not how we do it. Is that how you guys are doing it? Tristan, who runs your dispo? Matt, who runs your dispo?
Yeah, you're on mute.
Right now, it's basically been the agents that we're working with, and we're working with like 5 agents. So basically, the agent is working with the homeowner to get buyers in there. So, that's honestly not a bad idea to basically say, these are going to be the set times to show this property.
That's how we do it. We just do like showings, like an open house for 2 hours, weekday, weekend, weekday, weekend. So like we'll do a Thursday, a Saturday, a Wednesday, and Saturday. That's how we do it.
Okay.
Any other pushback that you're getting, or is it just that?
That's been the big one, is getting access to the property.
Okay. What's the little one?
Just kind of, if they think that this will work for them, which I've been pretty all right about, getting them,
Okay.
this is the way that we're going to get you, to that number that we discussed,
Yeah.
And
And
I'll
the
say another problem that we've been having is once the agent goes to get the listing agreement signed, there's been pushback there.
well, that makes sense because that was probably not explained in the MLS pitch. If there's a listing agreement that needs to be signed by the seller, you know what I mean? Like it's in our AIF, so we just have the attorney in fact that allows us to list it, and then we can sign the listing agreement. That's how I would recommend doing it. That way they're like, what? Because I'd imagine that would happen even if you say, hey, we're going to list your property, and then some person shows up that they've never met and they're signing a listing agreement with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I would expect that to happen. That's what you guys are dealing with?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay. Let's continue with this MLS pitch and then I'll address that. Anybody else have any questions? Cool.
I have to check. I have to check with Austin to see if your property would qualify for it, but I think it will. I mean, typically it's only for properties that are pretty ready to go and sellers that are looking to get the most money. And it's called our Market Max program. So, essentially, when you list it with a realtor, you've got one agent and she or he typically has a bunch of different houses that they're selling, at least, 2 or 3 different houses that they're selling. And, they give you a price that they hope that the property sells for, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell for that, there's no skin off their back. Not to mention, they lock you into a 6-month contract and they get paid even if a buyer doesn't use them. Like, are you kind of familiar with how that works?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right. So let's talk about that next step. Have any of you guys ever pitched an Ovation and been told, how is this different than listing it on the market? No? Oh, you have, Jared?
Yeah. Yeah,
J-
I've been told that.
So that's because you're missing that step, right? So let me pull up the script real quick, and I want to talk about this for a second. Let's pitch. So when you do this, then you say, essentially, when you list with a realtor, you've got one agent who has, like they have a bunch of different properties they're working on all at the same time. And they give you a price that they hope it sells for, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell, it's no skin off their back. Not to mention, they lock you in like a 6-month contract and they get paid whether the buyer uses them or not. Are you familiar with how that kind of works? When you do that and you have trust with the seller, they're going to go, oh, yeah, no, trust. Oh, you don't have to tell me. I know how that works, right? I know exactly how that works. And so you're getting them to buy into all of this, right? You're getting them to buy into this because they have to admit that this is how this works before you can go into this part, right? So they just bought in to all of this. So then when you go, well, it's basically the exact opposite of that, that takes away that objection because you're saying it's basically the exact opposite of that. And then what we do here is we go one by one on how we're the exact opposite. So I'm literally saying, look, one agent. Now I'm going, okay, we have an entire team, right? And so, their own buyers, we have our own buyers, right? We market to, and then doesn't cost you a penny, not paying any commission to us. And instead of a 6-month contract, it's just 60 days, right? That's our novation agreement. So I'll show you guys what that next step sounds like. If I can find this tab.
basically, this program is the exact opposite of that. So what we do, we have an entire team that's all dedicated to your property specifically. Now we've got thousands of buyers, about 10,000 of our own buyers that we marketed to that are, a lot of times they're too busy looking on the MLS. You've shopped for properties before, right? You're not always looking. Plus,
Right,
we
right, yeah.
can put it on the market, but we don't charge you a penny for it. So we could list it on the MLS. It just doesn't cost you anything. And instead of like the 6 months, it's just 60 days. It's 60 days till we would close. So what we could do from here, if you feel like it would help, is I could send this up just to see. I mean, I would just need to make sure that it is something that your property would qualify for. Our analysts would tell us the exact price that the property would sell for. And at the end, if you feel like it's what you're looking for, I mean, we could walk through the next steps from there. Would that help if I checked on that for you?
Yeah, that would help.
Okay, what's your schedule look like today?
So I ended up I was running into another call. I ended up having to reschedule the offer call. But notice that is the part that I'm going through, right? And we ended up closing that guy. We made 30K on the deal, and he left us a good review. Love the Market Max program. Thought it was great. So that is what that should sound like. Now notice, like, I went through everything. Now the next part I'm going to go through with you guys is, I didn't do this already last week, did I? I think I went through this with my own team. I'm not repeating myself from last week at all, am I, guys? Okay, good. I just trained my own team on this again. Like, we were just going over this, so I kind of got you guys mixed up. Apologies, you are different and special. But I'm going to go over this one part in the purchase agreement. I got to kind of dig through it. It's a different seller, but it's going over the purchase agreement. And this is how you should sell this.
The transaction in all of real estate is like that.
Yeah.
Bench sharing. So the last part is the attorney in fact. And this just says, do hereby grant a limited and specific authorization to sign John Lalonde of Homely Holdings, an attorney in fact, to have the ability to do the following, right? So it's only related to this property. Specifically to authorize us and give us permission to list the property on all multiple listing services if we need to, for the purpose of marketing and selling the property. That includes listing agreements, listing agreement addendums, disclosures, sale contracts, whatever we need to do to be able to get you that, 1.85.
Yeah.
So it just also has some clauses in there, like it may be revoked. If you ever needed to revoke it, you could. And if you ever, for some reason, if you were incapacitated or died, this would also be revoked. So it would just go to whoever you have to take care of your stuff if any of those things were to happen. So that's the only part. Everything else, if you look at the bottom and you scroll down, we've got everything that we just discussed. So
that part right there, let me see.
tenant contact information, city, SoCal Edison, propane.
No, he didn't ask any questions after that. That part is what saves me. I go over that part of the purchase agreement that says, hey, we're allowed to, basically anything we need to do to get you that 185, including putting it on all multiple listing services, marketing the property, signing listing agreements, whatever we need to do. Right. So that is how I set that expectation with the seller, with those two separate times, run on the first end, one when we're signing the contract. Joe, does your purchase agreement say that you're going to put the property on the MLS for your market map? It does?
So it has a portion on there in like our novation clause right there. It does specify, we're allowed to do what it takes, essentially listed on the multiple listing service. I mean, that it specifically does multiple listing service. So
do you read the purchase agreement with every seller?
yeah.
That just put a little more emphasis on it when you're reading it. That's the biggest thing, is like, make sure that they know. When I started doing this, I never had anybody else push back.
Okay.
And
So
every
just
time I
hammer
have-
that home.
Yeah, every time I have a seller that pushes back, I usually go listen to the call, and it was like brushed over, or, hey, we could put the property on the market, but we're probably not going to, things like that. Like, I hear my salespeople do that sometimes, especially a lot of my older salespeople. Cool.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Yeah. That's super helpful.
Good. All right, cool. What questions do we have, guys?
I think that got me.
So in Michigan, we have to have the that attorney in fact notarized for it to be a legal document. And I mean, I guess I've never really had a problem getting people to know, we just do an online notary service, but I'm curious if you have any ways to make that kind of smooth, because it's always been kind of jumpy or shaky to get there. Never had a problem of losing a deal because of it, but
That's good. I would say, I mean, I would just tell them that you're notarizing the purchase agreements. That way it's legitimate, and just say, a lot of times these other companies, they'll just send you a purchase agreement without it being notarized. You don't even know who you're selling the house to. Right. And so like, that's probably how I would reframe that to be like, it's for their security, and then have the purchase agreement and the attorney, in fact, signed together and both notarized.
Both notarized. Okay.
That's how I would do it. So it doesn't just seem like they're just signing over a POA.
Okay.
Yeah. If I were I'm glad that we don't have to get that notarized. We did once. We did when we were selling in Louisiana, but we don't do that anymore.
Okay. Cool.
Anybody else? Mr. Watson, you closing another 3 contracts this week? I'm going to take that silence as a yes. Let me pull up this call we have. If no one else has anything, we're going to go ahead and listen to this call that Mike has and give him some feedback. Cool?
Yeah, I also went too hard into condition and price right away, so that's another note on it already.
Hello, this is Mike.
Oh, hi, Mike. This is Emily Gerald's calling. And I thought my mom said it was James that gave her a call. Her name is Arlene Oaks.
Oh yeah. That would have been my partner Jameson there. I think I might be able to help you here. Did you have something specific you were calling about with?
She wanted me to give you a call back because she don't live at
Okay.
the house. She lives in a different house.
Right. Yes, I think I spoke to her a couple of years ago. Yeah, back in 2021. I'm looking at her, you guys' file here that saying that you guys basically own the home in practice, but she's still on title. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and were you guys possibly looking for a way to move on from the property, or was that totally off base that we had that thought?
We've kind of been talking about it. She's getting older, and I'm kind of looking. She lives up north, looking to move up by her a little bit. She don't need
where up
nobody
north?
living with her, but just someone to live closer to her than what we do.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense to be close to her, so you can help when as things go on. So okay,
Correct.
and now, how long have you guys been living in the house?
Oh my gosh, this house has been here in the family for like 50 some years now. 55 years probably.
Oh wow, so just your family has owned it for that long.
For this long, yeah.
That's incredible. I don't see that. I've run into that like a couple times, 50 years and longer, but it's typically closer to like 15. So
Okay, yeah,
that's awesome.
no,
That's
it's
awesome.
been in the family for a very long time.
Okay, and when did you guys move in? You and Greg?
I moved in. Me and Greg moved in. I want to say it was about 2002, 2001, 2002, right in there.
Okay, so you guys have been there for quite a while too.
Yes, I have.
Okay, wow, and I mean, other than it being kind of far from and Arlene's your mom, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so other than being kind of far from your mom, there do you like the house?
I do. I don't mind the house. I don't mind the location. Caledonia is getting a little bit more busier for me. It's not the same as it used to be. That's a hard time on that, and the roads, and it takes forever to go anywhere.
Right.
I'm used to, 15 minutes, I'll be at 28th Street. Now it's like, it could take 45 minutes.
Yeah, right.
With traffic. So,
Right.
yeah, I like to kind of get back into the country living a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you there. My my wife and I have a goal to live in a house that we could walk around the entire outside totally naked and nobody would call the cops. That's the goal.
Yeah, I would like to get back to that. That, believe it or
Mhm.
not, there was a time that you could do it at this house, but not no more.
Okay.
It's grown up so much around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a good friend who lives right on. I think is it 76th that runs through there.
76th Street does, yeah. 76th
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah, he
Yep.
lives on 76th Street. Just gosh, it's you turn left, but you're going south. So I believe that's east, just east of 131 there. So
Oh, okay.
or not 131. What am I thinking of? Anyway, but yeah, he lives down there.
M37 then? Okay.
Yeah,
that one.
M37. That's it. Yeah, M37.
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
really grown up.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's got it, but it's nice. It's super nice down there. Yeah, when he's in there, or you're at his house, you feel like you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So that's
That's
kinda
nice. That's actually nice. Yeah, because most areas right in there, that's really grown up where, there's houses on top of houses now.
Mhm. Okay, and I mean, so you guys are looking to move up closer to her. I guess when
One of the things that I still want to work on this a little bit more. First of all, man, great. Like so far going in a situation, understanding their situation, building a rapport. Great job. I want you to practice over and over and over, especially with Jameson, asking the question directly. Because what happens is you end up saying like 3 things and then asking a question. It's like, okay, so you guys live there, and if you so you guys do this, and then you go back to ask the question. But like, I'll just ask you, what question are you about to ask?
Where up north she lives.
Okay, what after that?
Pretty sure that's the next question I'm asking. Where up north is it?
What's your first problem awareness question here?
In this call?
No, just like what should it be? I'm guessing you probably did it correctly, but what should your first problem awareness question be right here?
Gosh, the first problem awareness question.
So like I'll go through it a little bit. You've
Okay.
got clear motivation, no urgency. Motivation's clear. You're not really sure why they would go with you. And then no clear motivation. Which one is this?
Clear motivation with little urgency.
Exactly.
So why now?
Exactly. So right there is where I want to focus, because she said, oh, you know what? We just started talking about it. And I don't think it would have been appropriate to ask her why she started talking about it right there. But saving that, like when I heard that, I just put that in my mind as like, I'm going to go back to that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this on the table real quick. She's like, oh, we just started talking about it. Okay, cool. So they are thinking about selling. They just started talking about selling. Usually something has to come up for them to want to talk about selling.
Right. I don't think I do ask why now.
So that would be a huge thing that I'd go into. Oh, how long have you guys been here? And I'm curious, you mentioned you just started talking about it. What came up that made you start wanting to talk about it? Right there. What came up that made you want to start talking about it? Cool. I can't say the word wanting right now because I'm super congested, so I sound like an idiot. That's why. I got allergies.
All good.
When you do move up there, you'd be out in the country a bit more. Where's she at?
She is east of Big Rapids. So she's in the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all country around her. Amish are all living around her, so there's nothing going to build up around her anytime soon. Yeah.
Heck
really
yeah, and you
nice
get to see horse and buggies every once in a while. That's nice.
Oh yeah, every once in a while they come actually mow her yard and everything else, and they're really nice.
Always fun to see them going by.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. So she lives in, when I go up there, because I go up there every couple of weeks, I get up there more than my brother. My brother also lives in the house.
Oh, I just paused it when I connected my.
Too. He likes it down here. He's happy to be down here, but I miss the country living.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I do miss that.
So your brother lives with you as well, and now is Greg your husband or your brother?
Greg is my husband.
Okay, Greg's your husband, and then your brother also lives with you.
That's correct.
And does he have a place lined up that he'd be moving to? Does he know what he would do next?
He's kind of thinking of staying in the area. He's not 100% sure, but he's definitely gonna stay in the area. He's not sure what he wants to do.
Like really, really good situation phase.
Okay. Yeah, and that's
You're really understanding their situation fully.
We just don't ever want to, wind up kicking anybody out on the streets. That's, we.
We wouldn't let that happen to him.
Oh, right. Okay, and all right. So he's looking to stay in the area. You guys are moving up.
There, I'm doing it again.
And do you guys have like an idea, like a specific place lined up, or are you still kind of in that looking process?
I'm still kind of in the looking process because I'm not sure yet what is all going to happen yet. I don't know if eventually I don't know. I've been kind of playing it by ear. But we've been looking, so we have a kind of a general idea, but we're not 100%, where I know that, I got a couple places to stay in the meantime.
Oh, all right. So if you were to sell, you wouldn't have to have to buy at the same time. You'd have some place to stay in the interim.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. All right, and I mean, in an ideal situation, I guess when would you wind up having the house sold and get up closer to your mom out in the country and.
We're not 100% sure. It's been we're talking about doing it the spring, but the spring's already kind of come and gone, so we're not 100% sure. We're just looking at getting the right price.
Okay. Got it. And now, so once you're up there.
Yeah, let's practice this for a second. So, really a good way that you're flowing the call. I think this is the one thing that we need to work on. Is I want to role play with you.
Okay.
And I just want you to work on going through and asking questions with just extremely concise, right? So we'll role play. I'll be the same. I don't know if I could be the same seller, but I can be kind of something similar, right? So we'll work on that specifically, and then I'll make sure that everybody else has a chance to role play. So let's jump into it, right? And what I want you to work on is just those concise questions. And if you need to think about what you're going to say, you can even go, all right, well, I guess I should ask then. Or, like you could say something like that to bridge your conversations. You can pause, right? Pausing's okay. You don't want to pause after every question. So they say like, oh yeah, no, I live in the house. And you go, okay, well, where are you headed though? Like you don't want to do that. Right, you do want a good bit of bounce back of, oh, where are you headed next? Ah, why there? Right, I know those questions are going to come. Oh, where are you headed next? Well, why there? Oh, just because of oh, how cool. How long have you been wanting to do that? Right, and like these questions right in there. And then when you have to think about a question, you can go, but I guess I should ask, why take care of this now? Right, then you can ask that question. But I would rather say, well, after a pause, they say, yeah, I don't know. We've just started talking about maybe possibly getting somewhere. We're really not sure. And then instead of going, okay, but you live here and you're thinking about selling. Okay, well, why now? I'd rather just go, so you guys just started talking about selling the property. I guess why look at this now? Right? I could ask something like that, makes a lot more sense. And the pauses help me. They work to my advantage because I sound really, really curious when I do that. So that's what I want you to work on this role play. We'll just get into problem awareness and then we'll stop. Okay. Start from situation.
All right. So all right. So you're if I remember right, you're living in the house now, but your mom's the one on title. Is that correct?
Yeah, I live there. She technically owns the house, but we kind of just started talking about it. Maybe we'll sell it so we can get something a little bit more private.
Hmm. Okay, so you're looking to sell it now. I guess what came up recently that made you want to see? I already did it.
Going to be a little habit to break, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know, like these are the little tiny micro expressions that make people feel like they're not comfortable answering the question because they don't know why you're asking it, right? So it's okay to pause. It's okay to go, So I guess you guys have been living here for, you said 15 years. I mean, what came up recently that made this more of a priority for you to take care of now? Like that was painfully slow, right?
Mhm.
Like I was painfully slow and I had time to think about my exact question I wanted to ask. So I'd rather that than the pauses. You know what I mean? Like or not the pause, than the like the mumbles, right? Of,
Yeah, the
oh, you
little
guys are gonna,
recaps.
yeah, or the recaps, right? So you could just think about it. You can go, and then go into it.
Okay. So I guess why what came up recently that made you guys start talking about selling now though?
Well, the neighbors just started building like an addition to their property, and it's kind of obnoxious. This should be illegal, but the zoning codes here, they just allowed them to build like this giant shed, and then they're gonna have like a little balcony from their house, so they can practically just see into our house, and then we just have a little bit of an eyesore. This place used to be a lot more private. It's just not that way anymore.
Oh man, it's not private anymore. That's rough.
Yeah, and it used to be like, you know, like you said, we used to be able to walk around naked. Not that we used to do it, you know, only on Saturdays, but now people can look into the house and they can see us, you know, just walking around our house. So we have to put towels on wherever we go.
Jeez, man, that sounds kind of awful. And now, I guess where are you headed next after you do sell?
Somewhere more private. I think we're gonna go up north a little bit. They're not building as much out there, so probably just gonna, yeah, it's like 30-45 minutes away. That's what we're kind of looking at.
Okay, and I mean, why there?
Mainly the privacy. Plus, I mean, there's some good views out there. It's a little bit cheaper, you know, good views, and not so crowded. There's a lot of big benefits to being out there.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get some land.
I think so, yeah. So that way, when we do, you know, actually buy the next place, there's not going to be a bunch of people around us.
Right. Yeah, maybe a house nestled kind of back in the woods. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we're thinking about.
And how does that compare to where you're at now? I mean,
It'd be completely different. I mean, it'd be just like night and day, because right now they're building a house. It seems like every 2-3 years they're building another house near us, and if we can get somewhere else, I mean, especially if we get land, we'll do it. We'll design it in a way to where, you know, we can't see any houses nearby.
Yeah, Caledonia is growing so fast. That urban sprawl from Grand Rapids is, yeah, it's crazy for sure.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, and you know, I guess ideally, when would you like to be able to get up north, get somewhere more private?
One more time.
Ideally, when would you like to be up north, somewhere more private, so you can have your Saturday naked walk-arounds?
Much better. That's what I'm looking for, right? It's just a much more concise question, right? And when you ask a concise question, they'll give you a more concise answer, right? Where, think about this. If the person has to think about what you're actually trying to ask, they're going to answer it with a surface level answer because they don't feel the question. They have to think about the question. They're not going to feel the question. When they feel the question, they give you like a heartfelt response, right? When they really feel what the question is. And the way that you do that is by asking really concise questions with appropriate tonality, right? With like a matching tonality. That's why we would ask the question, yeah, but like, why take care of this now? So let's say you're in that new house You're no longer having to worry about, houses being built on top of you, and you finally get that privacy that you've been looking for. What are you looking forward to the most about being out there? Right? Now they're feeling that. What are you looking forward to the most once you're actually out there? Oh, well, I'm looking forward to just being able to go sit on my front porch and have some coffee. And my mom's going to move in with us. We're going to socialize, sit on our porch, have some coffee, and enjoy the land that we own. Yeah, how's that going to feel? Oh gosh, it's going to feel. I can't wait. Now you go in and, well, what do you need to be able to do that? And you can do that need because they're excited about where they're going.
Yeah,
Makes sense?
absolutely.
Much, much better, by the way. Practice that with Jameson. Get on and just role play those concise questions, and make an ultra effort when you're on the next call to just ask concise questions. Like, if you want to find one of the best closers that I've seen is Matt Ryder, and Matt Ryder will ask like 6 really good questions on a sales call and close somebody. Because he just knows he'll let people talk. It's just weird. Like, he knows where to ask the right question. And so obviously, like, that takes years and years to get to the point to where you know exactly where to drop the perfect question at the right time. But the better you can get at that and making your questions concise, the better responses you'll get, the higher you'll close. So good job, man. Who's
Thanks, Mom.
next? Who's ready to role play? Don't be shy. Don't be nervous.
I'll be a
I
seller.
would hog the call.
Matt's gonna be the seller. Matt.
Charlotte, Joseph, y'all get y'all's asses up in there.
Oh shit! Got called out. I was gonna volunteer somebody, but Matthew did it for me, my bearded friend. So, thank you. Let's. Who do you want to go first, Charlotte or Joe?
I don't give a rat's ass.
That sounds like. Which one do you want to go, Joe? You're off mute. You want to go?
Yeah, I'll jump right in here. I'm ready.
All right, Matthew. Give them hell. You're gonna be the seller.
All right.
Ready when you guys are.
Ring, ring. Hello.
Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Hey, it's just Joe Jordan. It's looking like you filled out a form online about the property at 123 Main. You were kind of looking into what it might be worth if you decided to move on from it in the future, right?
Up. Muted.
I filled out a form. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now, Matt.
What's going on with his audio? Is he talking to you, or is he talking to somebody else?
I'm taking over.
All
He
right.
has his headphones hooked up to his phone, and one of our agents is blowing us up. We don't fucking have time like you, John, when we ain't managing our calendars good.
No, I just have my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't. If you guys ever text me, you'll know I'll respond like 3 days later. All my notifications are silenced. Go ahead.
Just start wherever you were at, Joe. I don't even know where.
Start from the beginning.
Okay. All right. Hey, Tristan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, it's just Joe Jordan. It's looking like you filled out a form online about the property out at 123 Main. Kind of looking into what it might be worth if you decided to move on from it in the future, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was just kind of interested to see what an offer on it would look like.
Okay, yeah. And we'll definitely, get to that. I was wondering though, because it looks like you clicked on one of my Facebook links. I've got like 2 or 3 of those out right now that'll say different stuff like no repairs necessary, or probably the one you clicked on is like quick cash offer on your home. You remember what it was about that ad specifically that caused you to kind of want to look into this a bit further?
I think I was just,
Switch real quick. I just want to make sure I hit this. You never want to say, "Do you remember?" Because they're going to say that gives them a really easy out. Remember, at the beginning of the call, that resistance is at an all-time high. So if I say, "Do you remember what you filled out?" They're going to say, "No, I don't remember." Right? Especially if they're super resistant. So I could say,
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you found it. Tristan, looks like you found us on Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what was it about the ad that caused you to, I don't know, want to look into this a bit further?
I've been thinking about selling and I wasn't sure what a cash offer looked like, but it seems pretty convenient instead of having to go through the
There we go. Like now I
traditional
got
route.
the answer where like it's really hard for him. That's why I go, oh, it looks like you found us here. They're like, yeah, I think so. Like, oh, well, what was it about the ad that? And they're a lot. It's a lot harder for them to say I don't remember, right? Because they just like you just filled the form out an hour ago on Facebook. You don't remember what it was. Now I can even make a joke. Oh gosh, what are we gonna do with you? You're like me, man. You don't remember what you ate for breakfast, huh? Right? You make a little joke, and they might get a little like offended, but you show that you're not afraid to challenge them a little bit. Oh gosh, you're just like me, man. You probably don't remember what you ate for breakfast, huh? Yep, pretty much. Oh gosh, what are we gonna do with you? So yeah, this first call is pretty basic. It's really just more for us to find out a little bit more about the property. Yeah, like the condition it's in and like when you're possibly looking to sell, just to see if we could do any good for you. Are you with me there? And then you can go into your sales process. So I just want to correct that one part. So start from there again, but don't ask, do you remember?
Okay. Yeah, it looks like you had filled out one of my forms online. You remember what it was about that it caused you to maybe
No,
wanna
no,
look
no.
into this
Take
a
the
bit
do you
further?
remember out. You're going to take
Okay,
that
take
part
the
out.
do remember out. All right.
Yeah. The whole point is they do remember. So, oh, looks like you found us online. They give a yes. Then you say, what was it about?
Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like you found us through one of our online ads. What was it about the ad that it caused you to maybe want to look into this a bit further?
Oh, I'm looking at maybe a cash offer. Seems a little bit more convenient than the typical route, and so I'm just trying to compare which might be the better route for me to take on this property.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Then this first call, I want to let you know, is pretty basic, really. It's really just more for us to find out a little bit more about the property. Like kind of like the condition it's in, what time frame you possibly be looking to sell in, and kind of just to see if we can do any good for you. You just might be better off keeping the property or even kind of risking the market and listing it with a realtor. You with me?
Um, that makes sense. That makes sense.
All right. So you confirm for me how many bedrooms and bathrooms this one is?
3 beds, 2 baths,
3 bed, 2 bath. And roughly what's the square footage?
1,203 square feet.
1,203 on the dot. All right. And it shows on my side, it looks like you've got a remaining mortgage of like right at 105,000. Does that seem right to you?
Ah, man, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, my software does estimate it for me. Does that seem like to be close or?
Yeah, probably so. If I had to guess, maybe 105, 110, somewhere around there.
Okay. And this property specifically, are you still currently living here? Do you like a tenant in there? What's going on?
Tenant just left. I inherited the property. I'm not really in the real estate. And so there's some repairs that are going to be needed on it. And I don't know if I've got enough time to hire contractors to get everything in tip top shape, or maybe just try to sell it to an investor and avoid the commissions. I don't know.
Gotcha. Not enough time though. How do you mean?
I work 2 jobs. I have a full-time job, and then basically I have a second full-time job, but it's me fixing up trucks. I'm a diesel mechanic, so I'm at a full-time job basically from 8 to 6, and then from 6 to 11 o'clock I'm working on other people's semi trucks, tractors. I ain't got enough time to wipe my ass.
I got you, man. Might want to get one of those bidets then. I hear they help.
Man, I might have to.
A little
So
European
good.
there.
Let's pause right there. That was really good. I really appreciate placing a well-timed joke like that. really goes a long way in your sales process. If somebody would have told me that, I would have laughed my ass off. So one thing I would say is right at the beginning, when you said, hey, it's just Joe Jordan, you do want to sound familiar, but you also want to make sure they know where you're calling from, like who you are, right? Because the last thing you want is Joe Jordan. Am I supposed to know who Joe Jordan is? Like who are you with? Right there. Sometimes people's like, dude, the people that are really big assholes, they'll say something like that. Like they're looking for something. We want to make sure that anybody that's looking for something, we don't give them any ammo. What's your company name again?
Tristan Buys Houses, but I think we agreed to just say TBH. Over at TBH, or I don't know. We talked about it once upon a time, and then we
I
didn't.
think that works a lot better. Hey, and then I want to sound curious. Hey, Tristan. Yeah. Who's this? Hey, Tristan. It's just Joe. Joe Jordan over at TBH. It looks like you just filled out a form online about your property there on 123 Main Street. Yeah, maybe to go over what it might be worth if you decide to sell. Is that right? Like, you see how how much more that sounds just natural and fluent. And think about you on the other end, right? If I said, "Hey, Joe," yeah, who's this? Joe, it's just John. John Lalonde giving you a call from Homely. Looks like you had just filled out a form online about your property there on 123 Main Street to go over what it might be worth if you decide to sell it. Is that right? Right? Like just something like that. So it's okay to sound ultra familiar, but you do want to still sound curious when you're calling them. Hey, Joe? Yeah, who's this? Oh, hey, Joe, it's just John Lalonde. Or just Joe Jordan. Over at Tristan Buys Houses. I'm okay with saying Tristan Buys Houses or, whatever you guys want to call yourself. I mean, if you're cold calling, that's the only time I don't say you're calling from Tristan Buys Houses. It's just a really quick way to get hung up on. Okay. Makes sense. But you guys aren't cold calling inbound leads. Cool. Who's got some questions? Good job, Joe. That was good.
I've got a question.
What's up, Mr. Tristan?
Let's see here. Pull up my handy dandy questions for John Lalonde, Doc. All right.
I got that one for myself.
So one question I had was, there's situations like high level, you definitely are more aggressive on sellers than we have been in the past. And so I'm trying to find that fine line of when is it so obvious that the seller's not going to make sense that we don't try to force them through our process to hit our numbers, our offers and things like that. And a particular situation is if a seller owes more on their mortgage than what we can offer, let's say they owe 100 and we can offer 85.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still going to make that offer, or how do you think about what's the thought process behind that?
Yeah, I had a struggle with that because when I was at my peak conversion, which I'm not right now because I'm not the only ones on the phone, right? I've got a sales team, got lead managers and everything. But my peak conversion was just me, right? Just me, but banging everything out. I don't care if you had a mortgage and a jumbo jet on your house. I'm going to give you an offer. And so I did that, and I went to an extreme, right? To where I don't care. Every single seller, if you answered the phone, I was going to try to close you. I don't care if you said if you were retail, I don't care if you were 9 months out. If you told me you're 2 years out, I was going to try to make you 3 months out, and I was going to try to close you. And so I will tell you that is the most effective way to convert leads, is to treat every single lead the second you get on the phone, you're going to close them. You're going to bring them through your sales process. You're going to look for any way that they can find a reason that they would want to sell the property, and you're going to just expand on that, and you're going to try to close them. Right? That is the best way to convert leads. That is also the most time consuming. So I think when you're at the beginning and you're learning this process, that's what you should be doing. And then what you'll start to earn, and I say this, you need to earn this, is the luxury of being able to decide when your time is going to be spent somewhere else. And I remember I spoke with one of the guys over at 7th Level, because I was talking, I was I don't know if Jeremy would spend his time with a lot of these sellers that are not really serious. And his answer was, Jeremy's savage with his time. He's completely ruthless. So he was known back when he was closing people if he felt like for a second you were not a good fit or you weren't gonna, he would just basically try to hang up on you, and then the like 5 seconds, like, oh, you don't have any money? Okay, cool. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna give you a call back. I actually got to go right now. Here, take my email, and then he just hop off the call, right? And so that is because he had other leads to call. So if you have a abundance of leads and you know that it's just a matter of going find the right one, that's where you play the game of like, hey, I'm being really selective, right? If I know that, if I'm on the phone with a seller and I can tell that there's just nothing there, they bought the house last year, brand new house, they bought it on a VA loan, and then I get a new lead that comes in, I'm going to basically hang up on that person to call that new lead. And so I earn that though, because I know, like, I have an instinct of, okay, I can close this person. But until I develop that, I am being obsessive of trying to close everyone. Cool. Isaac, you have a question?
Yeah, I got a question. On the connecting question, when we're asking, like, what was it about the ad that caused you to look into it further? I'm noticing on PPL, a lot of times
Yeah.
they're like, I have no idea. Like, because I don't even know if we're getting these leads in real time. It seems like we're not. So a lot of times they're like, I have no idea what I filled out, or even if I filled anything out. Are you like, when they, what are we, I know the point of the question a little bit, but when they give
Yeah.
us that answer, what do we just move on?
Well, what do you feel like the point of the question is?
To remind them to put the
Why they reached out.
and to put the focus on them, not on us
Not
as
on
a
us.
salesperson.
Exactly. Yeah, it's to get them to remind them why they reached out, and remind us, and I'll tell us as well. So when they say like, oh, I don't have any idea, I don't know, if they say something like that, then we already know, like, it's going to be hard to dive in. But I'm going to assume that they do know. So like what I started doing and when I changed it up to is like, hey, it looks like you found us online, and they'll say like, yes. Oh, what was it about the ad that caused you to want to look into this further? They say like, oh, I have no idea. I'll just go, oh, when did you fill this out? Just out of curiosity. And then they might tell me like, oh, I didn't fill anything out or anything there. If they say like, I didn't fill anything out, that question, that whole part, you just have to blow through. It's kind of this process is designed for people that actually did fill something out. It's an inbound lead. So if they said I didn't fill anything out, yeah, you just have to blow through that and go to the next part. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
And then I freaking send the call recording to whoever sent me that lead, and I yell at them. That's the next thing that I do.
Yeah, I'm getting that a lot on PPL. Can you do me one more quick, John? Can you say, when you were going over with Joe on teaching him how to say like, hey, it's just John Milan, can you just say it, because I'm having trouble delivering that part as well.
Yeah, so what's your company name?
Easy Offer.
Hey, Isaac, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Isaac, it's just Isaac Stallworth over at Easy Offer Homes. It looks like you just filled out a form online and asked us to call you to go over what your home might be worth if you decided to sell it in the future. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly how I would do it.
Okay.
Hey, Isaac, question. Hey, Isaac, it's just Isaac Stallworth over at Easy Homes, Easy Offer. And then I just go into it. Right?
Cool. It's just good to hear that. And
Good.
Over.
Awesome. I do have another call. I started scheduling a call right after this. And so on Wednesdays and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to have to hop off right at the dot. But if you guys need me, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Good work, everybody.
Thank you.
You too.